All right, can someone hear me now? I believe you can hear me. Just drop a comment on the chat if you can hear me. Good evening. Drop a comment on the chat if you can hear me, so we'll pick it up from there. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Am I muted? I'm not muted. Hello, am I being heard? Good evening. Isholua, can you hear me? Okay, great. All right, you can hear me. All right, perfect. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. So I'll just turn on my camera. I want to apologize. I'm in a noisy place at the moment, so you just have to. But I believe you can hear me, so we are good. So today's class, we're talking quickly on Markdown headers and test formatting. Sorry, I couldn't put together a slide, but then it's going to be a very interactive class, and you're going to learn a lot. All right, thank you. So yes, so I'm talking about Markdown headers and text formatting. All right. So now I don't know if any of you has, if you've worked, if you've written any article before using Markdown, can you just drop a comment? Let me see. If you've written any article before using Markdown, just drop a comment. So I'm checking the comments now. Anyone? Okay. So I believe you can still hear me. So that means none of you have made use of Markdown before, which is cool. So I'm going to be sharing my screen shortly. Just let me know when you can see my screen. Right. Okay, someone has just Markdown. All right, great. Let me know when you can see my screen now. I'm sharing my screen. All right, great. Thank you, Sholo. I've seen. Got your message. Let me know if you can see my screen so that I can go ahead. All right, great. Okay, so let me just go ahead. So this is a Markdown cheat sheet. I'll be dropping this for you on the chat section also. So with this, you can easily understand Markdown and get the syntax. So what is a Markdown file? For those of you that have not worked with Markdown before, a Markdown is should I say a document template, or is a way of writing, just like you have your HTML hypertext markup language. So HTML, you write a markup language, while for Markdown you write a Markdown using the Markdown syntax. Are you with me? Now I'm going to be doing something now. I'm going to be now to create a Markdown file. For me especially, I make use of GitHub. GitHub is a version control system powered by Git. Git is a version control system. GitHub is an application for Git. So here we can create what we call a repository, but I'm not going to be doing that right now. I have already an existing repository, so I'm going to use my already existing repository here, which I called Markdown. Yeah, this is it. Markdown headers. So I'm going to open this repository now. Now, in every GitHub file, you can create, in every GitHub repository, you can create what we call a readme.md file. It's usually auto-generated for you whenever I create a repository. And like I said, if you don't understand what a repository is, you don't need to worry yourself at all. You don't need to worry yourself at all. I'm also going to explain this for you using VS Code. For those of you that write content using VS Code and all of that. For those of you that write content using VS Code, I'll also explain using Medium also, so you can understand better. All right, so quickly, I'm going to create another README file. I already have one here, but I'm just going to create a new one. So I'll go to create new file. So I'm creating a new file now, and here, all right, I'll name my file now. So here I'll name the file article.md. So your Markdown file has to come with this MD file format, just like if you're someone that has a technical experience, your HTML file always has .html. The same thing, your Microsoft document file always have the .docx format. So this is what signifies that this is a Markdown file. So I'm going to name this .md. Now I'm going to revert back to our cheat sheets. I'm going to share my screen again shortly. I'll stop sharing and share my screen again. So we're going to be making use of that cheat sheet. We're going to be making use of that cheat sheet to put together so sorry. So I'm going to be making use of that cheat sheet now. Just give me a moment. All right. So let me know if you can see my screen again. I'm sharing my screen again. Just let me know if you can see my screen again. All right. Can you see my screen now? Okay, yes, you can see my screen. Okay, cool. All right. So now using this cheat sheet now, I'm going to be writing. Okay, so you can see here that the first thing, so sorry about that. So you can see here that the first thing here is that I want to create a heading. And using this Markdown guide, the syntax for creating a heading is what? Simply you have the hashtag and then you have your heading contents. Are you with me? All right. So I'm going to go back now to my readme file. I want to create a heading. I'm writing an article, so I want to assume that my article is titled Introduction to Markdown. Introduction to Markdown. So I'm going to, sorry, I'm sharing my screen again. I'm going back to our GitHub file. Remember, I created a readme.md file. So first thing, I want to create my heading one. So I'm going to have my hash, and then I'll have introduction to Markdown. I'm writing an article. All right. Remember that I'm using our guide, and to create a heading using our guide, we use a hash symbol. That's for heading one, a double hash for heading two, and a triple hash for heading three. So it goes up way down to heading six. But in most cases, you wouldn't need more than heading one to three. So I have introduction to Markdown here. So I'm just going to commit changes for us to see the change, because that's how GitHub works. Like I said, you don't need to worry your head around GitHub. You don't need to worry so much about GitHub. So sorry, I'll have to. Okay, let me just edit this. Okay, just one wrong. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to have here introduction to, so that we can quickly see the changes. That's why I had to do that. Introduction to Markdown, commit changes. All right, so you can see here now that this is our article title, Introduction to Markdown, and it's displaying here as a title, right? So now I've created my what? Heading one. Remember that today we said we're going to be looking at Markdown, headers, and text formatting. All right. So now that's how you create your headings using Markdown. You use the hash symbol. A single hash signifies your heading one. Double hash signifies a double heading, and a triple hash signifies what? Multiple headings, like three, like your third level heading. Are you with me? So I'm gonna now. So now let's look at how we can do other things using Markdown syntax also. So we're going to revert back to, we're reverting back to our Markdown cheat sheets. All right, I've dropped the link earlier. I'm going to drop it again for those that are just joining. So yes, so the next thing we're going to look at is how to bold the text using Markdown syntax. So to bold the text, you use two asterisk symbol. You wrap your text around two asterisk symbols, as you can see here. To italicize the text, you use a single asterisk symbol. in between your text that you choose to italicize. And then for a list item, you have your first, second, and third item. You use your normal, for an ordered list, that is list with numbers. You use your normal one, two, three. For an unordered list, you use a dash, and to portray it as an unordered list. That is, another list can be list with bullet points, right? Any list item that is not arranged using numbers like this is called an unordered list. Now, in a situation where you're writing an article and you want to copy, you want to paste a code, you want people to copy and use your code, right? While following your article, you have to wrap around your code within these symbols here. So you wrap around your code within this, and then the document formatter you're using. If you're using GitHub, if you're using if you're using Medium, whatever you're using to write your article, immediately it sees this, it will know that that's a code and to present those contents for you as a code. You understand? Another important thing that we're going to look at is how to structure your document. So in most cases, you will need to have your document structured within layers, and to do that, you have to do what called you have what called a horizontal rule. So horizontal is going to help you arrange your document into several layers. So to do that, you just have your three hyphens all together and to create a horizontal row for you. Now, to create a link also, this is the syntax for it. So you have the link title wrapped within your brackets. This I think this is called a curly brace, and then you have the link itself wrapped around your normal brackets. Right with me? The same thing for an image, but in this case, for an image, you have what an exclamation sign before the brackets. Right with me? So basically, this is everything. You can go further. You can learn how to create a table. You can learn how to create a footnote. You can learn how to strike through a word. Right? This there's a whole lot here. There's a whole lot here for you. But basically, this is everything you'll be needing. This basic syntax: heading, bold, italic, block quotes, ordered list, unordered list, code, horizontal row, link, and images. So quickly, let's get back to our GitHub documents. Let's practice everything I just discussed so far. So you're gonna see everything I just discussed so far. I'm gonna take it one after the other. All right. Please, if you have any question, you can drop your questions. At the end of the class, I'll go over the questions. So now, I want to write an article. I believe you can see my screen once again. So we've already given our article a title, Introduction to Markdown. So I want to write my first paragraph. So, or let's say I want to have what? A second heading. That second heading is what is Markdown. So I'm going to use double hash, and then I'll have what is what? Markdown. This shows that this is what? A level 2 heading. The first one is a level 1 heading, so it's going to be much more bolder than a level 2 heading. So I have what is Markdown, and I'm just going to copy and paste something from the internet there. I'm going to just copy and paste something. So I'm going to copy and paste something now from the internet. Just give me one sec. I'm coming. All right. So I'm just trying to get something online. All right. So I have something now. So I'm going to come back here. I'm just going to paste. Markdown is a lightweight markup language, blah, blah, blah. So I have that. So the next thing I want to talk about is I want to create another heading, maybe heading 3. And I'll talk about Markdown basic syntax. Markdown basic syntax. Markdown basic syntax. All right. So now with this, I want to like do a list item. Remember, I talked about ordered list and unordered list. So I'm going to do an ordered list first of all. So number 1, headings. Number 2, bold. Number 3, italics. So I'm going to talk about basic syntax under the following headings. So I'll write in this article. So in this article, we are going to be All right. So I just needed to confirm something. So in this article, we are going to be discussing Markdown syntax under the following headings. Right. So I have that bold headings, bold, it's leaks, and what again am I going to look at there? And code. And code. Okay. And then I'll have an another list. So remember I told you for another list you use what? You use your hyphen for another list. So I'm creating an another list now using what? Markdown. So I'll have here horizontal row, horizontal row. I will have what again? I'll have code. Okay, code is there already. I'll have link, and let's say I have an image. So I'm going to commit changes so that we can see the changes. So you can see the changes. Okay. All right, the link is on WhatsApp. Thank you for sending that. So you can see our article here. I have introduction to Markdown. I have what is Markdown. Under this, we have a little text here. Then I have my heading 2, or my heading 3 rather, Markdown basic syntax. Under it, we have uh, several headings. Here, headings, bold, it leaks code. This is an ordered list, and then we have an unordered list. Can you see? Another list is represented as bullet points. Are you with me? Right. So let's go back to writing our article. I'm going to edit again. So now the next now to do now is that I want to create break down the article into another section. So I'm going to do a horizontal row. I remember I said the syntax. If you check that Markdown syntax, the syntax to get horizontal row is just 3 hyphens altogether. So I'm just going to do that. So I have that now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is going to talk about practical approach to using Markdown. Practical approach to using Markdown, right? And I'm going to reference to that link now. Remember the link I dropped earlier? I'm going to reference to that link. So I'll just put a little text there. So you can get um, started with writing articles using Markdown with the link below. With the link below. So I have some typos here. So another thing is that you need to take notes. If you notice, Grammarly is helping me to identify spelling issues and all of that. So as a technical writer, Grammarly is your best friend. So you have to always work with Grammarly, right? So now I'm going to attach the link now. So remember I told you how to attach the link. You have this and then you have this. So here you have what? The link title. So I'll just write Markdown cheat sheets. Markdown cheat sheets. So sorry, there's a typo there. Markdown cheat sheets. And here I'm going to actually have the link itself, right? So I'm going to paste the link there. Right, so we have this now. So now let's commit changes again, once again, to see our progress so far. All right. So you can see now I've committed. So you can see now the horizontal line is created for me, showing that we are going to another section of this article. We have practical approach, and then we have this. If I should click on this now, it takes me to that link. So you can see now we attach the link. Now I want to attach an image now. So I'm going to wrap up this class actually with that, attaching an image. So I'm going to get this logo. I'm going to copy this image address. I'm going to copy an image address. So I'm going to attach what? An image to the head, to the top of my distance. So introduction to Markdown, and the next thing I want to have there is what? An image. So remember that the difference between attaching an image and a link is just having the exclamation mark right in front. So this is it. So here I have my image, alternate text. So an alternative text is a little description about the image. So in this case, I'll have Markdown image, right? And then I already copied the link, so I'll paste it there. All right. So I'm going to commit changes again, and then we should have our image there. Okay. The image is actually supposed to be here, but let me just refresh. If it doesn't show up, that means I'll just have to use another image. Probably the image I got was probably it's not a very nice image. So I'll just get an image. All right. So I've got another image. Let's hope this works. So I'll edit the file again. All right. Let's hope this works now. Okay. Okay, that was an SVG image. Okay, I need to get another image, a totally different image from another website. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I've gotten an image now. So in most cases, an SVG image might not work there. All right, so this should work now. So I'm going to commit changes, and let's hope it works. So you can see the image is there. So you can see introduction to Markdown. We have an image. We have what is Markdown, Markdown basic syntax. We have a horizontal rule, and then we have our next sub heading, or I don't know what to call it. Then we have this, and then we have our link. So basically, this is where we're going to stop today. No, you don't need a GitHub account only. So the same thing I did, you can, I don't know if you're a technical person, um why I use GitHub was because I usually use GitHub when writing articles. You can also use VS Code for that. Let me check. I think you can also use Medium. I think Medium is a very popular article writing platform. So I'm going to go to medium.com. Let's check if you can also use Markdown in Medium. No, 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 no. So it's not a must to use GitHub account, right? So I believe that answers your question. So I'm going to share my screen again. Let's try using um Medium. All right, so this is Medium now. So I'm going to click on write.
Um, Hi everyone, can you hear me? Um, can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, just type in the chat so you can hear me. Okay, okay. Hi everyone. I am unable to reach the tutor right now. I'm actually unable to reach it. I guess there is like a technical glitch, and okay, what we're gonna do is this, right? So when the tutor comes back, um I will just ask him to give you like the remaining documents so that you can just go through it, because I think it might be like other internet or any other technical issue. Okay. But then thank you everyone for joining today. This is the end of today's session. I hope you like enjoyed the class, and if you do have questions, please ask on the WhatsApp group. I would respond to you. Okay. Thank you and bye bye.